gonna get copyright strike on this song.
Your estimated wait time is less than 60 minutes.
Welcome back to another episode, guys. This is Hector from Not Too Nerdy, and I want to thank all the people that are subscribed. But if you're not subscribed, before I get started this video, definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. This way you guys get notified each and every time I put up a video. Now this one right here is going to be a special one. I know a lot of you guys started following me because of the PlayStation 5. Well, this is a video that's going to be about trying to get answers from Sony. Now, I know some people in the comment section have said that Sony told them to hand in the console. Other people said Sony's going to send out this magical fix is going to fix everything. Well, I want to know exactly what's going on. Let's see if we could get them on recording right now and they can actually tell us what is going on with the Sony PlayStation 5. Because I know it's a good console from what I see other people playing it. The unfortunate part is I can't get it to work, right? I have two consoles, two PlayStation 5 consoles. One was shipped out to GameStop, which reminds me that I have to tell you guys a good story about that on my next video, but stay tuned for that one because that's a really screwed up story, but that involves GameStop, not PlayStation. Anyway, back to this story. I also got another one from Best Buy, and that one's the one I currently have right now in my possession, and that one is doing the same thing where I can't play any games. So it's very unfortunate. It's two consoles that are not working right now, but hopefully we get answers right now. Let's see what they have to say. I'm gonna actually record this conversation if you don't mind. The only reason why I asked for consent is just I haven't had the best experience with customer service, so I decided to record this one. And also there's other people that I have that's in the same situation, so it might actually help you guys out if we give them one straight answer. That's why I decided let's record this, and hopefully it'll help others as well, if you don't mind.
No, that's a very good. No, that's a very good thought. And let me know if I'm sounding all right for your recording.
You sound great and everything. It's just a YouTube video, by the way, too. And there's a bunch of people that have the same issue that I do, so I just want to make sure I explain it properly to them. And the best way to do it is if you guys answer the question for me. So right now, the issue that I've been experiencing, a lot of people on my channel have been experiencing, the fact that they found my channel on YouTube to begin with, was there's an issue with the CE-108255-1, but the bigger one that most people are having issues with, the one that they really found my channel from, is CE-108255-1. Now that's the one that's a big one that a lot of people can't play games. Just to let you know, I have had two PlayStation 5. One is on the way back to GameStop that's trying to get swapped out. The other one I kept for a purpose of trying to see if an update will fix it eventually. And they're both having the same issue. And unfortunately, I can't play any games. You know, I think the longest I played a game for was an hour and it crashed. Since that time, my other console, the one that went back to GameStop's, probably was in a worse condition. I couldn't even boot it up. It'll just keep flashing the screen, and it even had artifacts and everything else like that. The one I currently have right now in my possession, that one just can't play games. So the minute you open up a game or any application, it crashes sometimes within the title screen, sometimes it makes it to the game and then it crashes right away. But regardless, I've had these consoles since November 12th, and I have not been able to play any game. I've been trying to get some answers. I know there's people on my channel that are trying to get answers as well, because some people have been told to actually send in the console, and some people have been told, don't worry, there's a patch that's going to be fixed, but that patch has never came. So I just want to get a clear understanding that if you guys are aware of this issue, and if you are aware of it, what do you have planned for the people that paid all this money that can't play any games on a console?
Okay, I can definitely look into that for you. I'm really sorry, Hector, for the issue that you're having. So if I heard you correctly, you have had two consoles. Pretty much both of them, you have had issues with game crashes and system freezing, correct?
Correct.
With these two errors that you have reported, both are CEs. One is 108262-9 and 108255-1.
Correct. The 108255-1 is more prevalent. That's the one I get the most. I've gotten the other one sometimes. The one I always get anytime an application closes is obviously the 108255-1. And I feel like most people that found my channel to begin with on YouTube actually have the same exact issue. That's the number one error message.
I see. Let me ask you some more questions in
Sure.
regards to this. When you say that it crashes sometimes just when you load it up, sometimes on title page, sometimes on main menu.
Yeah.
Does it crash does it like power off the system, or does
No.
it crash you to the main UI, or?
The application crashes, not the console. I've only had that before, the console crash, and that's when I get the 108.262-9 is when the console crashes. That's when I got that. It actually forced it to rebuild the database when it crashed like that. But the one I'm talking about that happens majority of the time is anytime you're playing, you start up a game and it goes straight into the start screen. For me, sometimes it makes it beyond the start screen. It freezes and it goes into black screen, and then it freezes for like about 5-7 seconds, and then all of a sudden the error report message comes up, and then you have an option to send it to Sony, and then it closes out. That's majority of the time what happens. My other console, the one that I shipped away, that's getting replaced right now, that one probably, it got progressively worse. It started out like that, but then as time went on, I kept trying to do different things to show people that if it's working or not, and it progressively got worse in the sense that it flickers, it was green and everything like that, and it was at the point where you couldn't even get past the login screen. The minute you logged in, the console will freeze, and then it'll just flash, a flicker. It would never even let you log in. And that's after, keep in mind, I've done rebuilds. I've done, I reinstalled the operating system using a thumb drive or USB. So I've pretty much done it all because I'm very familiar with stuff like that. So I've already done all those. The only thing that could possibly fix is either a patch by Sony or to hand it in. And that's the big question. Which one do you expect people to do? Hand it in or wait for a patch?
All right. Now, Hector, in regards to this error 108255-1, now we are currently investigating this issue at our end. Now, there could be a patch that is coming up very soon. Now, one thing that we do have is some steps that you may not have it externally out there. So, are you on the console right now?
I could go with the console right now shortly, but what's the steps if I can document this down right now?
Yeah, so the first thing is, may I ask what kind of display are you using? Like, is it a TV, 4K monitor?
Well, right now it's a 4K HDR TV, but I've tried 4K. You know, I kept switching to monitor TVs. I switched around. So
okay, all right. So the first step that we'll do is in regards to your settings, in your video settings. So that would mean changing the resolution from automatic. Resolution from automatic to the highest one that's available.
Correct. Yep.
For you. And changing the 4K video transfer rate to a -1. And what we'll do is we'll also turn off HDR for you, and then we'll try to launch the game under these settings. Once you're in the game and it launches, you're not getting those errors. If these are able to fix it, then we'll switch it back to what it was. This game crash error is more to do with the graphics. So the graphics of your display has to be in sync with the graphics of your console, which in turn has to sync in with the graphics of your game. Now, Hector, with this, a lot of times, like a lot of the TVs or displays out in the market, they may not fully support the 2.1 HDMI.
Okay.
Because it's relatively new. It's not a lot of 4K TVs even in the market have supporting that port has yet penetrated in the market. So this crash is more to do with the display. The game, when it launches, the graphics, because of the port, they're not able to support, or they're not able to sync in. So what we want to do in terms of fundamentally how to tackle this issue, it's more to get those settings in sync for us to launch the game. And once you're in the game, once you're in the gameplay, we can try to tweak the settings to see if increasing the resolution helps you. Okay? So if you're on the console, I can tell you if you can do those tweaks and start it.
So wait,
start the game.
Before this, I'm going to go shortly to that. I just want to clarify that this is, so you're trying to tweak, because you said is this per game? Because this affects each game differently, wouldn't it?
No, because this error, the games would still give you this error. Like you said, this is the more prevalent, right? So different games, even if you're launching different games, if it is crashing using this error, there is a common cause to it, right? Because of the error code. And it is coming from the graphics in the sense that that's what our troubleshooting steps, which have worked in some cases, have also been on. So if we can head towards changing and tweaking your graphics, and along with that, we would also perform some other safe modes, Hector, if you have not performed them before.
Okay. So could we document the second form of safe modes too before we start this process? I just want to I might as well document that now so I know what the second form is if that doesn't work.
Yeah, so we will then try with the safe mode. So that would be safe mode number 2.
Okay.
Changing the video output settings. We can again change the resolution to either. We ideally want to start with the highest one available instead of the automatic.
Okay.
But if that doesn't work, then we can try for 1080p. Also, there's another setting within option number 2. It's called HDCP. You may want to change it to 1.4 from automatic. It's another tweak that you could do. And then ideally, we would recommend safe modes 1 through 6. We're not really recommending to do safe mode 7 unless you want to do it yourself as like a last-ditch effort. And those 1 to 6 safe modes you can do in parallel with the video tweak settings that I gave you in the sense from your main settings. So you can try to tweak the resolution with different safe modes, because every safe mode does launch you back in there. Another thing that we may want to do for now is for games that do allow you to, we may want to change we may want to turn off ray tracing in the main menu. Some games do allow you, some games do not. So
Correct.
That's another tweak that you could do. Also for games for now, we may want to set your game preset to performance mode. So on your main menu settings, you go to save data and game and app settings. You go to game presets and you change it to performance mode. And once you're in the game, you make sure that the setting is also reflected in their main settings as well. So your display is on performance mode within the game menu.
So
okay.
one question I have. So a lot of this is actually some great information. I really appreciate you taking the time to explain this as well. The thing that kind of worries me is a lot of this seems like it's like a workaround from like the actual issue, and to me, it's all leaning towards, like you said, graphics, right? So, like, let's put it this way. Like, so I also have I have an Xbox Series X as well. Okay, that one is connected to the same exact TV. It's not on at the same time, but it's connected to the same TV. That one has the same exact specs per se when you're looking at the 4K HDR and 120 frames per second, or it's capable of that. It's a 2.1 as well, and it's actually a higher bit rate than the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 currently, and that's not having any issues. There's no issues for my TV seeing it. There's no issues for my monitors to see it. So when I see that, it kind of worries me, because it seems like what this is, because like when you just said performance mode, sorry, you said performance mode, you also said the ray tracing. If we're taking off that feature, this is what it's supposed to be highlighted for the PlayStation 5. So I'm kind of worried that this seems like it's a workaround, like it's a temporary fix, but that's not really a true fix if I'm turning off the features that makes this the PlayStation 5 to begin with. Right. I mean, unless am I missing something, or are you just trying to assist to have a temporary fix until there's a real fix?
So Hector, 2 questions that you have. One is about it being a workaround, and
Correct.
The second about the other product that you mentioned. That is sort of running on the same graphics and giving you a good display. So let's start with the second question. So
Sure.
I can't really speak, Hector, for the other product because
Correct.
it's not something that we manufacture, right? So they would have their own requirements. We have our own requirements.
Okay.
As a part of the requirement, like your display has to be supportive of the 2.1.
Correct.
So that's where this entire issue starts, right? So if it's not getting the right port at that point, it's the system itself is kind of like compromising from that point onwards. So that's where the tweaks are coming handy. Now, you're absolutely right in your first question in terms of, yes, it is for now kind of like a workaround that I'm giving you.
Okay.
It's not something that we expect you to do every time you launch the game. And, because the game is crashing right now with this error and these settings that I just told you have worked for people, that's why I was just giving you out.
Okay.
But yes, like I mentioned earlier, that we are very actively investigating this issue. Our engineers are working on this issue, on these errors, especially the 108255-1. So that's something that is getting investigated, and you will be updated on that. It could be possibly a patch that fixes it, or it could be another permanent solution for it.
Okay.
But this is something which is very actively being investigated right now.
Another thing that I did have a question for is right now, currently, you just stated that, this could be fixed and there should be a patch. My concern is there, I know you guys are still investigating. Like, are you guys at least at the point to say that, yes, we think a software patch will fix this? Or is there still a question in your mind that it still could be something to do with some of these consoles that may be something to do with the GPU or something that's on the graphic side? Or are you guys ready? You rule that out and you're like, okay, no, we're good. We're focused on the patch because it's software related? Or are you still looking into the possibility that it could be hardware? I think that's probably the biggest question that most people had, that they're not sure. That is this hardware or software, because people keep saying it's software and there's gonna be a patch, but they're growing more and more concerned as time goes on. So I just wanted to know, is this something that you guys are definitely confident that it's software and you're gonna work your best to fix it, or is it something that you're still questioning if it's software or hardware?
That's a very good question, actually, Hector. So, of course, good questions do deserve good answers. So, if you can just bear with me 2 minutes, let me put you on hold.
Sure.
Let me try to get a better answer than what I currently have for your question. Hector, I did reach out to my specialist team over here and did try to sort of get an answer on your question here. It does appear that right now the information that we have is more in regards to the steps that are available in regards to doing the tweaks that I already told you.
Correct. Yep.
But in the background, in terms of the investigation, whatever is happening, it's more on our engineering team side.
Okay.
So we are aware of the fact that there is an issue, but we are actively investigating it.
Okay.
And as soon as there is an update or a fix in regards to that, we will be able to update you on that, Hector.
So there's no hint on whether you think it's hardware or software. I mean, obviously you think it's software, that's why you're working on it. Otherwise you would have told people to bring it back. But it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of worrisome. There's a lot of people that could play some games and some people can't play any games, and it's been like that since day one. Like for people like me that had it since the 12th, and I know there's people out there that's playing games easily, that there's no issues, which also makes me wonder how could they play a game with no issues but yet others can't. And if it was software, wouldn't it be affecting each of us at different times? Like, it's a little weird if it's like that. So that's why I asked a lot of these questions, but I understand you can't answer that. But I just want to let you know that I appreciate everything else. The steps I'm going to try right now, I'm going to try it on my own time. I was more about fact finding than anything else on this conversation, and I wrote this down and I'm going to explain it. Plus they're going to hear you explain it live. It's literally just to help people understand what's going on and let people determine what their next step is. Are they willing to wait for a fix that may not come out right now, or are they going to just exchange it or try to send it back? I'm not too sure, but at least they know what's in front of them, and I think this helped out a lot of people, to be honest with you. So I just want to thank you once again for helping out.
Thank you so much, Hector, for being so thorough here, and I hope I was able to explain to the best of my abilities.